Buenas. Qué hype que le tengo a esta segunda parte de este juego. Porque en la primera, eso de ir cogiendo las páginas y luego vivirlo me explotó la cabeza y me pareció increíble. Así que vamos a ver qué pasa.
Previously on Alan Wake, I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
Poseídos. Ah, bueno, que estamos en el pasado. No tengo ganas del pasado, pero me sirve.
Honey, I'm home.
I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've
¿Qué
ever
está
seen.
haciendo? ¿Qué es esa luz?
You
Ah,
should
no,
put
es
some
nieve.
coffee on. It'll warm you up.
¿Qué va?
Hey, handsome. This is gonna be a long night, but these shots are turning out great.
I guess you're gonna need that
Me
coffee.
veo bien, me veo
I'll go
bien.
put it on.
O sea, este mae. No, es que este del medio, no tengo cómo marcarlo, pero el del medio se me parece al de Grey's Anatomy. La cafetera, sí. Me hizo bien la refrescada del inicio del capítulo.
Coffee's on.
Listo.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by
No
tomorrow.
funciona. No se está haciendo el café. Que alguien nos salve. Sin café no vivimos. Y eso fue. No. Menos días en realismo. Me voy.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done
O
this
sea,
quickly.
como yo.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of
Wow.
miracles, my dear.
Oh, really? These look really good.
Ah, pero hay que
Oh,
por.
sure, until Barry gets his hands on
Página,
them.
página.
Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body.
Sí, primero la página. ¿Qué era sudden? Repentino, no me acuerdo.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake.
Snuff me recuerda una canción.
Metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me.
Es la misma voz del otro episodio, no me acuerdo. Lo noto diferente.
This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now. My wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Honey, I'm home. ¿Listo? ¿Puedo leer los del capítulo? Sí, ¿cuántos me faltaron? Este y este es el máximo de dificultad. Me faltó este, qué lástima. Bueno,
The last
tampoco me
time was
desvío de
the
buscar
last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry,
coleccionables.
he called. Alan!
Calma. Es cierto que esta madre tiene problemas con oscuridad.
I'm right
Calma,
here. I'm on
calma,
it, honey.
calma.
Please hurry.
I'm right here, baby.
Me parece más
I'm
inteligente que
fine.
ella viniera
Just
conmigo, pero
get the
bueno,
lights back
ahí
on
vamos, ahí
now,
vamos.
please.
Sí, ya. Calma. Todo va a salir bien.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay.
Hola.
Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Está bien,
Don't
sé que tiene
worry.
problemas,
We'll
todo
just
bien.
break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay.
I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Clicker.
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar.
Oh,
Thanks for this.
pero ¿cómo lo vas a llamar mentiroso si él se está esforzando? Hazme el favor. Bien. Presente, continuamos.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
Yay.
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me.
Hey.
I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Ok, puedo correr, todo bien.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
I don't have the luxury of being complacent, Deputy Grant.
Señora, no juegue con esto, no me pegue esos sustos, al favor.
Change them in the dark.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you.
Que se largue, le dice.
Alice was missing. I needed help to find her.
Tiene una pared invisible.
Alice was missing. I needed help to find her. I wasn't ready to leave.
Desaparecidos.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Qué amable. ¿Lo revisó?
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure.
Porque siento que se están gritando de pronto, como que alzaron la voz.
I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Ah, la pu.
Who is this?
Ah,
You're in a
bueno.
bad lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do
Mr.
nothing
Wake, can I
stupid,
help
pal.
you with anything?
We're watching you.
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back. I couldn't go
Of
anywhere
course,
yet.
Mr. Wake.
I
You
had to
can
play
get there
along
through
with the
the cell
caller.
corridor.
Alice's
Just
life
don't
was
mind
at
Walter
stake.
in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit drinking for good.
Oh, such a
Mulligan here.
Ah, tengo demasiadas barras. Ah, como siento hablando.
at the moment.
No sign of him. Wait. Yeah, Thorn. Look, we've located the break.
Tenemos.
Some good ones, right?
Página. Ok, primero lo primero.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Ok.
Today. Over.
Vamos largo de aquí.
Hey, mister! Hey, can you turn the light?
Eh.
The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand.
Sí, señor, sí.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
Ok, no entiendo nada.
You won't listen to me. I need it. Hey! Hey, you!
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Permiso.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now,
Sí.
folks, we get this.
Se ve muy interesante. Hasta luego. ¿Puedo darme escar? No. No. ¿Qué tiene de especial ese carro? ¿Y cómo llevo ahí? Ahí. Ok.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
Sí se puede. Esto, ¿verdad? Por algo debe estar esta tabla. Se la pateó. Lo hizo con la fuerza, con una de Star Wars.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow
Mierda.
vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall in the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
Ok, ya sabemos por dónde va la cosa.
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Uf.
Barry?
Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Soy de la oficina, ok. O sea, pero entonces ahora sí salgo. Por la puerta normal. Creí que era que no podían verme.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Okay, ahí.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the
La mierda.
Antics might have inadvertently caused on their
Sí.
recent and regrettable little outing. They are not
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr.
Me sirve.
Emil Hartman. I'd like
Qué
to
gusto.
invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my! Take it easy.
¿Qué está pasando aquí?
Hey, nobody move. Get your hands off of my client.
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done.
Era la misma voz.
I'm all right. I don't want to press charges.
Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was
Está
just
haciendo la
thinking
madre
about
aquí.
you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Lindo este otro.
Who's Max?
Yo tampoco sé.
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mister takes a
Sí,
swing
sí,
at
soy el primero
everybody.
que ver este bicho,
This
casi
is
este
not
bicho
her
que había.
fault. She's a
Pecado.
very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you. And
¿Serio?
she was very helpful when I was looking for you.
Ok, revisar un poquito, no mucho tampoco. Vamos de Colombia, tacatá. Muy bonito, sí. Hasta luego.
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a
Wait
guy
here.
and his body just disappeared?
Easy there, boy. I'm
No,
almost
Max.
done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max
When was
here
the last
got his
time you
foot
slept?
caught in a trap.
Are you high?
You're
Have you been
illegally here.
drinking?
Hell, you're not supposed to
No!
hunt within the park at
Look,
all.
Barry, I'm missing a week.
Stop some
And someone's got Alice.
Do
And
you
everything's just...
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong. It's a good story. Would be a bestseller.
Sí, el man que solo piensa en la plata y no, ahora
But when you start confusing fiction with
Permiso,
reality,
permiso,
you're
permiso.
buying yourself a
Formulario
ticket to
primero.
the funny farm. Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing...
Wait here.
Listen, you
Wait here.
your head.
Aquí está la hora.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Gracias.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
Okay.
If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes
Wait.
open.
Joke on me.
Just wait here.
Ah, bueno. Ah, la torre de radio y eso, sí.
Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Este man no se calla, nadie lo está escuchando.
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
F. Ok, ojo, ya
Just be
estamos.
careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Ok, ¿qué es esto? Estoy historiando, permiso. Termo, 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 termo. Algún día voy a saber para qué son los termos. No va a ser hoy, pero voy a saber. Vamos a ver. Ah, ese madre no se calla. Primero lo primero.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
Okay. Solo 12 balas. ¿Qué pasó con las que yo tenía? No, me robaron. Policía, me robaron.
I knew I should have gone to the cops.
Sí.
This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
No, estos. Casual. ¿Y alguien en casa? Se confirma que sí funciona, no como el de la casa. Es exactamente igual, me fascina. Bien, más balas me sirve. ¿Qué es? Qué turbio hasta ahora. Sería muy loco que se empezara a mover así. Satánicos. Ya no digo nada. Adiós. Ah, pero él tenía que tocarlo, ¿verdad? Claramente. Yo me voy a salir. Conmigo no es. Patear, a ver si esa vez sí lo patea. Ok, gracias. Ah, bueno. Policía.
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
Una gran programita, yo lo vería. Cagadísimo, pero lo vería.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one. So, you're confessing to killing.
Voy a apuntar para allá para que la luz no estorbe.
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy, normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you...
¿Cómo alargar el gameplay de manera innecesaria?
I didn't like his face. Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either. That must be difficult.
Madre, ¿cuánto va a durar esto?
Match. Your prints. Identical. Huh, how about that? Your son said you were wearing a
No puedo quedarme aquí todo el rato. Pero me encantaría saber el desenlace. Ok, continúo. Sí. Lower speed. Por aquí. Pues. Ok, no voy a alimentar a nadie. A menos de que intenten matarme. Que valió la pena. La caminadita.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Ok. Un poquito turbio. Ya no está tan bonito. Me mato si me caigo. La pereza, la pereza. Exacto.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page.
Pero ¿cuántas paredes vamos a romper aquí?
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury. Rusty, damn.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming!
Rusty.
Please, help me!
Voy.
Anybody? Help me! Help me!
Ay, para no matarme, digamos aquí. Permiso.
Hello?
Calma.
I'm back here.
¿Cómo es que?
Mr. Wake? Oh, hell. It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
No creo que Rusty pueda.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript.
Bueno, solo es la pata. Igual sorry. No soy experto en piernas hechas mierda, pero lo que me ha enseñado Hollywood es que sí puede sobrevivir. Luz.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
Madera, supongo que sí. Qué pichado. Y es que le estaba disparando.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe.
Okay. ¿Y dónde está la...? Escuché algo, no sé qué, pero algo escuché. Ok, balitas, batería, me sirve, ya tengo suficientes. Solo tengo esa pistola.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Rusty!
Puta.
Rusty!
No, ¿dónde está la salida? ¡Ah! Pero, Dios mío. Ese sería yo en la vida real.
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
¿Dónde está Rossi? Un poquito mal el pulso. Un poquito frío. No jugaba a los tipos. Sí, con ese pulso juego balo por aquello. ¿Esto qué era? Anyway. Roster. Aquí había un roster y ya no hay. Yo había puesto un roster aquí y ya no está. ¿Quién fue? ¿Api?
Fishing is only permitted for those visitors who purchase a park fishing license. Obey.
¿Qué problema? Ah, esto es que no por todo lado.
Rusty, no. Never. Two bears and wolves never approach any other wildlife closer than.
Venga, venga.
Pets must be leashed.
Venga, estoy esperando.
Never leave your pet unattended.
Man, lo detesto.
It is against the law.
No sé si esto es porque me está contando algo. Eso no sé. Prefiero esperarlo aquí, la verdad.
This includes even
Sí,
walks you made, or even simple berries.
ah, qué molestia con este bicho que anda por allí por acá. Casi eso era todo. Sí. Ay, no. Sí. Es lento. ¿Para qué tanto vida? Pues puta que son. Bueno, voy a hacer todo lo del Lover's Peak o como sea, todo en un video, así que voy a parar esto aquí y posiblemente lo grabe seguido, de hecho. ¡Oh, no, no, no! No, 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 no he hecho nada, no he hecho nada. ¡Uy! ¡Uy, qué pichazo! ¡Uy, no, no, permiso! Yo tranquilo que iba a hacer alzar. Venga. Venga, venga. Toma. Cuidado. ¿Qué? ¿Cuántos más? Puta. Ah, bueno. Ahora sí. Dejando esto aquí.